If you want to catch more bass this fall on the fly, keep watching, because in this video I'll be discussing 4 flies that I highly recommend for bass fishing in fall. I'll be showing you how to fish them, I'll be showing you where you can get them, and last but not least, I'll be showing you a few clips of me catching bass using these particular flies. Before I start, I want to briefly discuss how I define fall, and that of course entirely depends on where you live in the country. For me here in Southern California, fall runs from somewhere between mid-October all the way to the end of December, maybe even the very first few days of January. And this is typically the time of the year when the leaves are starting to turn, when there is a noticeable change in the temperature, not just the air temperature, but also the water temperature. And that is the time of the year when the bass are trying to prepare for winter, when they're actively feeding, and when they're trying to fatten up. One last thing I wanted to mention really quick is that I mainly fish in small creeks and in small rivers. All right, without further ado, I want to show you the very first fly, and probably the best fly in the list, which is the Swimmin Jimmy. And I apologize, this fly is beaten up beyond any recognition, so I include a stock image. And this is really one of my favorite flies because it's so effective. The fly swims very erratically throughout the water, and the way I fish this fly is with a fluorocarbon leader. Some people recommend to use a sinking line or a sink tip line. I don't think it's necessary. I think a floating line is just fine if you fish it with a fluorocarbon leader, because the fluorocarbon leader will sink. And the way I would fish it is I would just give it a few strips and then pause it slightly, like maybe half a second to a second. And what this does to the fly is, like, every time you strip it in, it dives slightly down, and every time you pause it, it slowly rises. So it looks like a dead baitfish that just goes down and then rises slowly, goes down, rises slowly. So where can you get this fly? If you're like me, I'm not a very talented fly tyer, and also I'd rather spend my time fishing than sitting there with tying flies. So I'll buy most of my flies online. The lowest price that I found on the internet for the Swimmin Jimmy is around $2, and that is from Big Y Fly Company. And I'll include a link to this fly in the video. Not everybody is a fan of Big Y, but I actually like them because they're all reasonably priced. I mean, here's the thing about discount flies, right? Sooner or later you're gonna lose some flies. And if you pay $10 for a fly, it's really gonna hurt. Versus if you pay $1 or $2 for a fly, it's gonna hurt a lot less. And truth is, if you wanna catch fish, you gotta cast into regions where you eventually get hung up. So eventually you will lose some flies. And if you're like me, I personally prefer to lose a fly that I only paid $1 or $2 for. So as promised, I'll show you a quick clip. This is from a video that I just filmed last week. I'm still working on this video, so hopefully it will be out before the end of October. I mainly fished the Swimmin Jimmy and Topwater Flies in that video, and I caught a bass on the Swimmin Jimmy right in front of me. So without further ado, here's the clip. Yo! Oh! Man, that was right in front of me too. Ah man, I hope I'm recording. Wow. That's a decent one. Once again, on the Swimmin Jimmy. Come on in here. Yes! Take a look at this one. Here we go. Nice 11-inch bass, and you can see he took the Swimmin Jimmy right here. What a nice fish. Absolutely amazing. The next fly that I highly recommend to fish in the fall for bass is the reverse tight minnow. I fish these a lot in the fall, especially in the small creeks. I recommend that you try the color chartreuse or bright yellow in fall. And here's another variation of this. This is yellow and green. And these two colors are going crazy for me during the fall here in Los Angeles or in the Los Angeles area. This is a fly that you fish somewhere between the surface and the bottom, so in the mid column. And this one is a very effective fly for small creeks and for small rivers. I've caught so many bass on this fly, and fishing only this fly. And the way I fish them is basically the reverse of the muddler minnow. So instead of waiting for the fly to rise, you wait for the fly to slowly sink. So you give it a couple of strips for the fly to come up to the surface, and then you wait for a second or two for this fly to slowly sink, and then you give it a few more strips for the fly to come up, and then you wait for it to slowly sink again. And the retrieve, of course, you can vary. It depends on the water temperature and how active the bass are. You can give it a couple of small strips, so the fly comes up in slow motion, and then you wait for it for a second or two for it to slowly sink again, as if the baitfish is dying. Or if the water temperatures are slightly lower, then you can make your retrieve slightly longer and pause in between with longer pauses. And the bass are typically taking them when they sink. So be in touch with your line or be in touch with your fly, be prepared for the bite, and be prepared to set the hook. A nice strip set, of course. So where can you get this fly? I got these flies off of Amazon. They come in a pack of 12 and they're absolutely dirt cheap. So if you have the time and you know how to fly them, they're probably super easy to tie. Go ahead and tie them. But if you don't have the time, I'll leave an affiliate link to Amazon for these flies in the description for this video below. Check them out. Like I said, they're super cheap, and for me personally, I'd rather buy these and pay like $12 for 12 flies, so it cost me $1 or less for each fly. Like I promised, I'll show you a video of how I catch a bass using the super bright reverse tide minnow. Yes, that's a good fish. That's a really good fish. Let's see what this is. Oh, it definitely has to get on the reel. Oh, yes. Please tell me I'm recording. Yes. Oh, I think this fish bit multiple times. I have to. Oh, yes. This is a good fish. It's a really good fish. It might be a good bass. Let's see. Oh, that fish bit multiple times. It is good bass. It's good largemouth. Yes. Yes. Oh shit, yes. Okay, buddy. I really don't want to lose this guy. So let's tire him out really good. Oh, it's a really good largie. Yes. Okay, buddy. Are you ready? Are you? Oh, yes. My goodness. I'm so glad I changed the fly. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Beautiful fish. And nice and fat too. Awesome. I'm super happy about this one. Yes. All right. Let's let him go. The third fly I recommend you try during fall is a popper. A popper doesn't work all the time. The fish have to be active for this, and the fish have to be willing to take topwater flies. But under low light conditions, so either you try it early in the morning or late in the evening, the popper can go absolutely bonkers. Like when they work, this is some of the most exciting fishing that you can ever have, because it's highly visual. You can see all the tags. They make big splashes when they take these poppers, and once you hook one on a popper, I promise you, you'll be hooked on it for life. You don't necessarily have to fish a bass popper. This is a bass popper. You can see how big it is, but they're very difficult to cast because of the air resistance of these poppers. If you really want to cast this fly sufficiently far out, you probably need at least a 7 weight. I tried casting these large bass poppers on a 5 weight, and it's doable, but the casts weren't that super long. If the bass are close by, you can use a 5 weight, maybe even a 4 weight, and you'll manage to cast them out. But I personally prefer to fish on lighter equipment, so I typically use a 2 or 3 weight. And in order for me to cast such a popper, I opt for some smaller panfish poppers. And you might say it's like, oh, these are panfish poppers, you only catch panfish with it. That is not true. You catch plenty of bass on these smaller panfish poppers and plenty of good bass. You catch the smaller bass, but you'll also catch the larger ones. And the interesting thing that I noticed about bass fishing is once you hook even the smaller one, the larger ones are getting curious. They're coming around into the area and they're checking out what is going on there. So don't be surprised if you first catch a smaller bass, let him go, cast right back in there, and you hook into a much larger one. This happened to me more often than I can count. So what colors do I recommend? During fall, I recommend either using very bright colors, like the color white, or something like a bright yellow, or very dark colors, like this black one, or like this dark green one on the panfish popper. And the way to fish these is basically you want to make a lot of noise and then you pause and wait. The one thing I want to mention is that I'm not a very patient fly fisherman. I know some people recommend when you fish poppers that you toss them out there and you give it a pop and then you wait until all the rings disappear. I cannot do it. I do not have the patience for it. And to be honest, I don't really think it's necessary. But I noticed for me, I get a lot of these bass if I just wait a second or two. So the way I fish them is I toss them out, I give it a really good splash, and you don't have to care about presentation. These are not trout that you're fishing for. You want actually the opposite. You want to make as much of a splash as you can. And these flies are designed to do exactly that. You want to make as much noise as you can, as loud of a noise as you can, and as much commotion as you can. You toss them out, you make a big splash, and then you wait a second. And then you start stripping them in. And instead of just doing one pop at a time, I recommend you do like 2, 3, maybe 4 pops at a time. So let them pop, 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 and then you wait for a second or two, and then you continue pop, 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 and then you wait. So don't strip them in continuously popping, and don't like do one pop at a time and sit there and wait. I think you'll be wasting your time. Really vary the retrieve again, do like 2 or 3 pops and then wait for a second, then do another 2 pops and then you wait 2 or 3 seconds, and then do like 4 pops in a row and then you wait half a second or something like that. Experiment with it, play around with it, just have fun with it, and I promise you they'll go really well. So where can you get them? I'll put an Amazon affiliate link in the description for this video below, and that is for a variety pack that has all different sizes, like large ones like these, all the way down to these smaller panfish popper sizes. So like I promised, I'll show you a clip of a bass that I recently caught at the Los Angeles River. Again, this is for a video that I'm still working on. So, and actually fished this particular fly, this very same green panfish popper, and I caught a foot long on this tiny fly. So let's have a look. So many on top water, so many on a Swimmin Jimmy. Oh, and right away another one. Yes. Oh, and look at this rod band, man. These guys are really good fighters. Oh, another decent one. Wow. Hey, this is unbelievable. This is fall fishing in Los Angeles for you. Wow. All right, buddy. Come on, come on. Don't shake the hook. Okay, got him though. 2nd foot long for today. Absolutely amazing. You can see the popper he took right there. Wow. So the last fly I recommend you try in the fall for bass is of course the woolly bugger. Now I fish this fly year round, but I noticed it's going exceptionally well in the fall. If I fish a creek where I notice a whole bunch of crayfish swimming around, I fish something like a thin mint woolly bugger. This one is going exceptionally well in all of these creeks that have a lot of crayfish. And under low light conditions, I also recommend that you try an olive color woolly bugger. And I especially prefer when they have legs tied in. And the reason for that is I want this fly to make as much commotion in the water as it can. And the last color that I recommend you should try for woolly bugger is the color black. This one has been going exceptionally well for me when I fish it right across the bottom in low light conditions, or in water where the visibility is very low. And there's a whole bunch of ways you can fish them. A couple of ways are to toss them into a current and just do nothing. Basically let them drift with the current. The only thing that I have to say about this is you have to stay in contact with your fly. You have to be able to set the hook once a bass takes this fly, because I have watched bass taking a fly in, like inhaling a fly and spitting it back out within a split second. So you have to stay in contact with your fly and be ready to set the hook. But in my opinion, the best way to fish these flies is on the bottom. So you toss them in, you wait for them to sink all the way to the bottom, if this is the bottom, and then you just let them sit there and wait for a second. And then you give it a few strips, let them rise in the water column, and then wait for them to sink down and just let them sit on the bottom. This tactic is going really well for me, especially in smaller creeks. Anyway, where can you get them? I leave a link in the description for this video, once again, to Topwater Fly company. I think you can find some of them on Amazon, but I personally prefer the heavily weighted cone head ones as opposed to the bead head ones. I just prefer them because they sink a lot faster. The only exception to this is the thin and woolly bugger. I found these on Amazon and they're actually exceptionally well tied. They don't really come apart. I caught so many fish on these, and I even use these larger ones for bay bass. Again, they're heavily weighted, and I found a super cheap set of 12 in different sizes on Amazon. So I leave an affiliate link for the thin and woolly bugger in the description for this video below. So as promised, here's a small clip of a video of me catching a really nice bass in a very small creek in Los Angeles. I filmed this video, I believe, about a week and a half ago. I'm still working on it, and just like with the other video, I hope to have it out before the end of October. So here's the clip of me catching this bass. Enjoy. Yeah, they have seen me. They're not gonna bite. Come back later and try to like the stealth approach again. Yo, I actually got another one. I can't believe that actually worked. Oh man, I think I have to put this guy on the reel. I don't want to break off again. Get on the reel, there we go. Oh, all right. Yes. I'm not sure how large this guy is, but it's a decent fish. Probably, oh yeah man, he fights good. Oh, it's a decent fish. It's a really good fish. Hey, 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 come on. I don't want them to break me off in the weeds here. Oh, and that's, man, that's exactly why I put him on the reel. Come back here. I might have to take my time a little bit with this fish. Man. Come on, buddy. Don't shake too much, though. Have had bad experiences with it. Oi. Oh, all right. Let me show this fish off. Yes. 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 Look at this honker. Man, that's a fish. No, this guy might be actually larger. I think it might be 16 and a half, like very close to 17. But man, what a fish. Wow. Man, I'm super happy about this one. Nice. So let me unhook this guy and then give him a nice underwater release. Wow, what a bass. One more thing I wanted to mention really quick. If you don't like buying flies from big discount stores, or if you don't like buying flies from Amazon, and if you don't know how to tie flies yourself, that is okay. I leave a link in the description for this video to an Instagram account for one of my friends. He ties flies pretty much on a daily basis, and he also takes custom orders. These flies are going to be slightly more expensive compared to when you buy them on Big Y or on Amazon, but these flies will be high quality. Like I said, he takes custom orders, so check out his Instagram account. It's definitely worth it, I promise you that. He posts on a regular basis all of his catches, and like I said, he takes custom orders. So if you want to support a local fly tyer, there's your chance to do it. So there you go. These are my 4 flies that I recommend for bass fishing in fall. Give these flies a try. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Try the topwater flies, the poppers, especially the smaller panfish popper on a lighter rod. Try them under low light conditions, so early in the morning or maybe late in the evening, like right after the sun sets, before it gets too dark, and really give the Swimmin Jimmy a try. This fly has been absolutely deadly for me, and I fished this fly last year all the way to the very end of December, and I've caught so many good bass on this particular fly. So give it a try. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.